Okay, I want to thank all of you for coming out to our weekly opportunity meeting for pool funding. And so we have a lovely group of people here with smiling faces that have attended today. And now we're in the Q&A portion of our meeting. And we just had a presentation a moment ago where we watched some videos on our remote agent page on our website. So who would like to go first? You can just comment, question, present concerns. You know, we're open to anything, whatever you'd like to fire off. You're talking to the creator, founder of Pool Funding, so I'm happy to address anything you guys want to talk about. Who would like to go first? How was the presentation? Did I do good today?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great job.
Van, I'm sorry, Ace.
Hello, Donald.
I asked the question in chat. How do you put your bank account on the system?
That's a great question. So we're using digital currencies like USDT, right? Have you ever had USDT, Donald?
I haven't.
You haven't. Okay. All right. So you would be new to the digital currency world. You haven't done anything inside in using digital currencies.
I'm 78. I've always used money.
Okay, got it. So here's how it works. You can attach a bank account directly to your digital wallet. Okay. And that's for basically loading money in and taking money back out. How's that sound?
Can you do that with MetaMask, or it does have to be something else?
Yeah, it is MetaMask. When I say
Yes.
digital wallet, so MetaMask is a very popular digital wallet. And that's why we've selected it as the main way that we do what we do. And we have people that are really familiar with it, so that if you ever need support, we got people that know all about MetaMask and how it operates. But we didn't create MetaMask. That's been around longer than we have, and they're
Right.
huge, right?
I need help setting my bank account up.
Yeah, that's not hard. We actually have people that will help you.
Awesome.
You're just making it easy for us, Donald. We can definitely help you set up get your bank account connected to that, so that whether it's a Visa or a MasterCard, whether it's a credit or a debit card. Actually, the debit card is the one that's preferred. That's what the application says. And they have software. I'm not even sure if software is the right word. They have like partnerships. MetaMask has partnerships, and probably the most well-known is something called Transact. So Transact is the one that actually does the connecting the banking to the consumer, if you will. They're the ones that connect, and they have a huge relationship with Visa and MasterCard, Transact, so they're in good standing with them. And I think Visa is what I think they really favor. Visa is the one that Transact is favoring more than others. So, well, we got two Donalds here. So we got Donald Smith, who I've just been talking to, and now Donald Patterson has raised his hand. Feel free to unmute and ask your question, Donald. Ask to unmute. I'll click on that. Okay, do you know how to unmute? There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Donald. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks for the presentation. My question is, so we only need 4 people, but what if we can get more? What happens with the rest?
Oh, golly. You're not happy with only $1 million a year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we could do 2 million if you bring me 4 more. Is that okay?
Okay, I was just wondering, because if I can get a lot of people interested in it, I just want to be able to tell them.
I do want to clarify something now that you asked this question, because sometimes people have this idea that more is better, right? But you, Donald, you have this much time on your day, right? How much time you're gonna do, right? So,
Mhm.
we're not really in the transaction business like almost everything else is based on transactions, you know? If you look at where our remote agents are earning, it's really not that much on transaction. It has much more to do with relationship, right? So whereas most opportunities, they just want to plow through society and civilization with their transactions and, you know, gobble up as much transactions as they can. Um, you know, what happens is that just leaves a lot of people with, you know, a lot of unhappy people behind. I think that whole approach is creates more dissatisfaction in the world than it does satisfaction. So the way we're specifically designed is you're really rewarded to really stick with whoever you bring in and work together closely so that you together move, scale up from our pools. You know, we have the $1, the $10, the $100, and the $1,000, right? So as you and say 4 other people scale up together, right? You get into that $1,000 pool, you know, your contribution is $1,000 a day. Okay, but you're happy to do that because you're receiving $4,000 every day. And what's left over is 3,000 every day times 30 days. That's 90,000 a month, which is $1 million a year. Now, if you have 8 people and you've got 8 solid relationships, we just double it, right? You got $2 million a year. That makes sense?
Okay, yep,
So we want the attention to be on relationships, not transaction. Take care of people. That's why we started with the long spoon, right? See, the world we're in today is so designed around the transaction. It's created that longer and longer and longer spoon. And now in the year 2024, everybody's so frustrated, you know, because everything just seems like it's messed up, like nothing's quite right. You notice that? You know? And that's because everybody's just trying to get, you know, that short-term gain at the expense of the long-term situation that short-term gain might cost, right? So get something today, but the cost could be quite big down the road. Every time you just, you know, that's the wrong way to go. The best thing to do is, you know, a structure that's solid and builds and grows bigger, it doesn't fall apart. And then you have something that's going to last for decades to come and take care of humanity. And it's based on the concept of building equity, not managing debt. It's a big difference than the way the world. If you look at the operation of the financial world today, it seems like the only thing they're concerned about is debt. You got to get into debt to get ahead. And to me, that just sounds like an what is it, oxymoron? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah,
Um,
like military intelligence, oxymoron.
yeah, an oxymoron, yeah, right? So military intelligence, but yeah, like it doesn't make sense. You got to get into debt to get ahead. That never made sense to me. How about you, Donald?
no, not at all.
Yeah. So the
Okay,
idea
so I'll
of
just
building
focus
equity,
on, okay, I'll focus on getting the 4 first then.
getting solid 4, and then from there grow out. Make sense?
Yep,
All right,
okay,
good
thank
deal.
you.
All right. Well, so far, if your name's Donald, I'm falling in love with you guys. So, okay, let's see how it goes with David. David Barrett, you get your hand up.
Yes, thank you for letting me be part of the group. I'm a new member. I'm
Welcome.
interested in how do I get my close associates involved? What's the best strategy to talk to them about this? Because I'm new, so I don't want to say things incorrectly, but I want to be able to help them get to the point of being this type of arrangement so they can see what we just saw.
I'll give you 2, you know, kind of approaches. How's that sound?
Oh, sounds great.
Okay. So you could just say, "Hey, I found a way to get funding that I don't have to pay back." Would that get their attention?
I would think so. They
Okay.
got mine.
And then they're gonna say, right, yeah, and it says, yeah, I can invite you in if you're interested in looking at it, you know. But the simplest way to talk to people is the best way. say something, shut up and listen. Okay. See how I did it with you? You know, I found a way to, get funding that I don't have to pay back. Now just shut up. See, the long pauses on purpose. And then the person's going to say, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I can invite you in to take a look if you want to take a look around at it. I mean, it's hard to say no to that offer. That's the first offer. That would send them over to the remote agent page. Okay. The second one I would say is something like, I found a way to leverage time and get overpaid. Long pause. Same thing, that sends them over to the remote agent page. And that's what I would do. I mean, a lot of these guys here, they've used 1,000 other different approaches. So what they've proven to me is it really doesn't matter what you say. You just have to be excited. As long as you're excited, David, that's the only thing that matters. If you're excited, that will create enough interest. Just the fact that you're excited is what's going to make the person interested to know more. So don't ever feel like pool funding, I got to talk people into it. Pool funding, I got to convince people. Pool funding, I got to explain. Forget about that. Okay. Just be excited about pool funding and let people know you found something. And then have the attitude, I don't care if you're interested or not. And when you have that attitude, it's like, it's just a numbers game at that point. You just kind of make the statement in front of a number of people, and then enough of them are going to start asking questions. Great question. Let me send you over to the page. Send them over to the remote agent page. Then from there, you can just say, hey, if you got more questions, I'll put you in front of somebody who can answer them because it won't be me. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do with your people that are in contact with you. And then, like I said, we're a group of people that support each other. There's always somebody here wanting to play the role of the guy who's going to be the one that will answer the questions of your associates, the people that that are taking a look at this. Okay, I don't see you anymore, David. I hope you didn't drop off. But that's the answer for David. Anybody else find that helpful? No.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Thank you. No, I'm even more excited. I like the simple approach. I don't like to talk too much about things without showing them. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Show them the page, and then they got more questions and say, I'm not the guy. Don't ask me anything.
Hand it off.
Hand it off to someone you feel confident that could answer their questions. And if that guy happens to be me, so be it. Okay, fair enough?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, David. All right, Donald and Donald got their hands up again. See how it is when you fall in love, they can't get enough of you. What's up, Donald and Donald? You both have your hands up still.
Okay.
Donald
a lot of people think that PF is like gifting. How do you keep from having them think that that's the case?
Right. You just say, how does the market fit into a gifting program? Show me another gifting program that has anything to do with the market. Ask them that question. You know what I'm saying? So I can see how a person can say, well, the way this thing is structured and the way payments flow, it's your direct referrals, right? Paying you, right? But if you go down to the 7-Eleven and you're the one that owns the 7-Eleven and you invite your friends to come in and buy stuff at your 7-Eleven, that's direct too, isn't it? But it doesn't change the fact that it's a business, not something else, right? So most people will understand that you can't take something that looks like something else and say it is something else when it's definitely more of an innovation that has gone beyond. So maybe it's taken the best parts of maybe a gifting idea, right? Maybe it's taken the best parts of it, and maybe it's now, because of the market element of what we're doing, it just makes it better. Does that make sense? Because I know some people have done quite well with gifting programs, but the problem is they don't usually last very long. Does that make sense? Donald? That was Donald Smith.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of programs, and a lot of the people that I've been talking to, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is just a gifting program.
Yeah, but with the market element, it's not.
Hey, Ace, for that particular question that you answered, which was a great answer, so just to expound on it or another angle is, I forget what you would call it, but I've heard it like in other businesses. If someone says, well, that just seems like a gifting program, and you go, well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or ask one question or the other, not and or, and then, what their feedback is from gifting. And either way, you're still going to have the same answer after that. No, it's not a gifting program, and this is what it is, and this is how it works. This is how gifting is.
Excellent
Just like what
point.
you said.
Yep, excellent point, David. Excellent point. Yeah. Anyway, but my experience with gifting programs, look, I made my first $1 million in network marketing, and pool funding is not a network marketing thing, but there's the element of team building. Okay, yeah, you do team building in network marketing, you're doing team building here in pool funding, but we're not interested in a team that you're only concerned about signing them up, and ignore them as you sign them up. Sign them up and ignore, sign them up and ignore. That's how most people approach network marketing, and that's why, like, the statistics are so horrible. Like 90% failure rate kind of like thing, because the way people approach it is wrong. It's got to be done with relationships. So, but the idea is you don't want to get paid with no leverage, right? So that's the problem. If a person's trying to make it now with no leverage, I don't know how much longer they got. They're in trouble, because AI is here, the robots are here, inflation is here, and I don't see any of those things going away. Okay, so as long as we got to deal with those three things, trading your time for money is not going to work out. You better be leveraging somehow, and leveraging by building a team. Like almost anything you do in the business world, you're going to build a team. Like there's very few things that you can do that you would call it a business, and it not have some team building element to it. And a team of 4 people is such a small team of people that you got to work directly with. It's not much to ask, right? So I think we kind of got a good thing going on here. And people can try to slap labels on it, but ask them what they're doing instead. I always like to do that too. I was like, well, just because you say it looks like this doesn't mean that it is. What are you doing? What are you doing to get ahead? And then listen to what they have to say. Because if they're trading their time for money, you can just laugh at them. It's like, okay, good luck with that, because we know anybody trading their time for money in 2024, they're on the losing end of the deal, for sure, 100%. Times have changed. All right, Donald Patterson, you took your hand down. Maybe I answered your question already. Okay. I don't see any more hands up, but feel free to unmute if you'd like to say something, even if it's just a comment. It doesn't have to be a question. And I'll open it up to members as well. If you're a member and you'd like to share some of your, maybe a testimony or, your some insights, or what do you think about pool funding? I'm sure some of the new people here would love to hear from some of you that are members, and you can tell them, from your heart what the truth is about pool funding.
I experienced small team building as a child growing up because my dad was a doctor. So he had basically 4 other people besides him. So 5 total doctors doing the exact type of doctor he was, which was internal medicine and allergies. We went on 2-week vacations for skiing, 2-week vacations for camping, and then long weekends for camping as well, and long weekends for skiing. You can't do that if you're the only guy and you don't have 4 other people to take over while you're gone. Otherwise, you lose your patients. So it was really an amazing thing to experience in a very not typical field that you would think of, a small team can make a difference in your family's life. Like you actually get to partake in the family stuff, not just make the money that the family does, but you don't.
Yeah, it's a great insight there. Appreciate you sharing that, David. And I learned something new about you today. So I didn't know your father was a doctor. That's fantastic.
Army doctor at that back in the day, and then he had his own practice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. We have Pastor Carl here. Are you able to speak, Pastor?
Yes. Hi, grace and peace, everyone.
Maybe you could tell people about your experience with pool funding. How long have you been in pool funding now?
I've been in since like June.
Okay, so you started in June and now September, middle of September. And
Yeah.
and what's it been like? You've done other things for you've taken advantage of other opportunities. Pool funding is not the first opportunity you've been involved in, right?
Correct.
You're supplementing your income, any way you possibly can. But compared to other things you've done, what's different about pool funding?
Oh my goodness. It's like being a part of a family. Everybody is attentive to each other. You definitely don't feel alone. Most programs you join, they just want you to be a statistic. So all the leaders here, and the fact that Lisa, David, Hunter, Tim, that everybody stretched forth their arms to me when I came in. And Ace, as the owner and the creator, I mean, he's like one in a million. Sometimes he may call and just try to encourage you to just go on. So this is a great experience for me. Everything we do in life, I see that it has a lot of principles that even come from the Bible, and their goal is to eradicate poverty, not just to like that spoon video. That's like a perfect example. When you just try to succeed by yourself, it's kind of hard. But when you UNITY, like those people with the spoons, they started feeding each other, and then they were able to eat. So that's a beautiful video and a scenario to this company. So I love it. I'm not going anywhere. We all go through some diversities in life, but if we work together, we will succeed and get to that. Well, I call all my groups OPL, Operation Promised Land, so we can get to that million. And I'm gonna say this and I'll be done. I don't talk much, but when we talk about the economy and the way I was going, Michael Jackson said the best of all, they don't care about us, but Ace does. So thanks a lot, Ace.
All right, you're welcome, Pastor. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very well spoken. Okay, very good. So we have a global opportunity here. You're not limited on any particular country. We're not only in the US, we're all over. I happen to be traveling right now. I'm in Asia. I'm in a place called Philippines. And I'm a world traveler. That's kind of like my thing. I like to travel all over. In fact, the first US passport I got, I had to get a new one after just 5 years because I filled it all up with too many stamps on it. And the immigration officers were getting kind of angry at me at the airport, like they're going back and forth trying to find a page to stamp because they usually like a little bit of room to do that. They don't like to stamp on top of stamps. And they said, you gotta get another passport. And they're like, well, the passport's good for 10 years. Well, your passport's full. You need a new one. So, that's the kind of problems I have. So I ended up getting a new passport. And once you get to the point where you're enjoying a life built on multiplication income, you'll never look back. You'll never go back. I mean, I was Mr. Joe Schmo, Mr. Regular Guy. That was me for 40 years. Okay. I'm so glad that part of my life is over. I am so happy that I don't have to keep going and punching a clock or, trying to make somebody else's dream come true. In pool funding, you can make your dream come true. So you just have to be teachable, coachable. I'm sure you've heard that before, but you'll have a community that will support that effort with pool funding. I think you'll find that as the main difference. Okay, I know I've repeated myself there a couple times today on that point, but I think you'll find that is the most valuable point about this whole presentation, is that we have built a community of caring people that support one another, and it started by being the example. I think I have led by example. Wouldn't you agree, Pastor? When it comes to providing support, I lead by example, right?
For sure, for sure.
And so it just caught on. And so from the start, we have developed a great team of people that support each other. And the new person never has to worry about, being left out. They're always going to be included. They're going to get their questions and concerns answered quickly. And, we have nothing to hide. So we're just happy to lay it all out there and just say, this is who we are, like it or not. This is what we're going to be and what we're going to do. And we believe the idea of pool funding is going to catch on in a way that will change the world, a world where actually let the robots and the AI take over all the jobs. Let it happen. Who cares? Mankind's got better things to do than to actually say that a man is only worth what he can work and get done. The whole idea that the point of being human is how productive you are. That's a silly point. Okay. To me, I think we're much more than that. I think to be a human means to actually be a multi-dimensional, like we got better things to do, like, pursuit in the arts or in music, or there's so many areas that we can unleash ourselves if we're not, kind of grinding it out an existence as some meager job. That's the old way. The new way is, find yourself, be yourself, and do what makes the most sense for yourself. Okay. And put yourself at the center of that, and make sure that you get to fully express who you are as a human being. David, we'll go ahead and get you a couple words in, and then we're going to close out today.
Thank you. Yeah, I think pool funding is amazing and sets itself apart that those who aren't great at huge team building, which is a big difference from small team building, is that the people at the top or that got in before are the ones that are making it, and the others don't really have the chance. Where in this, because it's so small that you need to make the big bucks, it's more fair that he who does, or the person that does the work, he or she who does the work gets paid, not because I got in 10 years before you or something like that, or I recruited 2 people and there was a bunch of strong people down below them. I was nothing. I just got 2, but they did the rest of the work, yet I still get paid more than them because I got in before them. I just love the structure of this a lot better than, as much as MLM can be a great thing, this shows to be a better opportunity for the average or below average Joe or Jane.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I appreciate you acknowledging that. And that's on purpose, because I've been around team building my entire life. And I when I went to create pool funding, I wanted it to be something that people could, have full confidence in. And that's why I made it so that it doesn't take a large team to become a millionaire, because there's only so few people capable of building a large team. Like it might be 1 in a million or something like that, right? It might be something, but almost everybody, if they're I'll put it like this. Every single person that's determined can build a team of 4 people. And if you can do that and support them, put the relationship, at the center of that, and make sure you have a solid relationship that you and your 4 team members, you and your 4-member team can elevate from pool to pool. And it shouldn't take more than a year to get into the top pool, the $1,000 pool. We haven't opened it up, the $1,000 pool yet, but we will open it up. The next one to open up is the $100 pool. We're about to do that. Maybe in a week or 2, the $100 pool will be open. We're almost ready to do that. So, grow with us. And there's a small advantage, by being in early in pool funding for sure. And so, come in now and eat up that small advantage. I think the low hanging fruit. A year from now, there won't be any more low hanging fruit. A year from now, all the low hanging fruit is still hanging. So come in now and gobble it up. All right, thank you all for attending our weekly opportunity meeting for pool funding. And we're going to close it out now. And what I always like to do when we're closing, I like everybody to unmute and everybody can just kind of wish each other bye and see you later. So why don't we do that? Everybody unmute. We'll just go bye-bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.
See y'all.
See you later.
Bye.
Night, John Boy.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Okay,
Donald
John Boy.
and Donald.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.